Hello Drogata, welcome again to my channel. This is my third video. I will be speaking about West Papua today. As we speak, there is unrest and violence in West Papua, which is the other half, the western half of the island of New Guinea. So Papua New Guinea is on the eastern side, and West Papua is on the western side of the island of New Guinea. West Papua has been fighting for a very long time for independence since the 1960s. It has been demanding that Indonesia gives it independence. A lot of solidarity groups in Australia, in the U.S., especially in Hawaii, in New Zealand, in the Netherlands, here in Papua New Guinea, in Solomon Islands, in Vanuatu, all are calling for the Indonesian government to give independence. I have had conversations with students and just generally people, and I find that the understanding of why West Papua, why they're fighting for independence, a lot of people don't actually know what's happening. So I would like to shed some light on the events, maybe kind of like a timeline, so that you kind of understand what's going on. So West Papua was originally a colony of Dutch, or of the Netherlands. So in the 1950s, the Netherlands decided to withdraw from West Papua. And at that time, the Indonesian government was showing a lot of interest, mostly because West Papua obviously is very resource rich, has a big land mass, and obviously any nation or any country with bad motives would obviously want to take interest in what's happening, not what's happening, but take interest in a country that is very appealing in that sense. So in 1950s, as I mentioned, the Dutch decided to withdraw from West Papua. In 1961, the West Papuans raised their the Morning Star flag for the first time as a sign of independence. When that happened, it just caused a lot of conflict because the Indonesians were at the time trying to move in to take possession of the land. So in 1962, the UN kind of tried to resolve this with the New York Agreement. So a key requirement of the New York Agreement is that the West Papuans would be allowed to vote through referendum if they wanted independence. So in 1963, the Indonesians were made the official administrators of, or the caretaker administrators of West Papua. So they have been in that role since 1963. So anyway, according to the New York Agreement, they needed to do the to carry out the referendum. So in 1969, there was a ballot where West Papuans were going to vote. But the interesting thing is that not all West Papuans were allowed to vote. There were only 1,026 West Papuan leaders that were handpicked by the Indonesian government to go and vote. So obviously when you see something happen like that, that's not even free, that's not even fair. And of the 1,026 leaders that were chosen, the Indonesian government obviously threatened that they would kill their families and those leaders if they voted the wrong way, and if they didn't vote for Indonesia to rule or to be administrators in West Papua. So as you would know, Australia and New Zealand, even the United States, everyone is very, very silent. Their silence is obviously, or not obviously, but it's very, very deafening, very frustrating. But when you look at the kind of interest that they have in West Papua, you'd already know that it makes sense. Okay, so in West Papua, when I mentioned that they're very resource rich. Their land is full of minerals, gold, copper. So the biggest mine in West Papua right now is the Freeport mine, and this is run by a U.S. company, so a United States company. So you can see already there that there is already compromise and a conflict of interest there already from the stance of the United States. Okay, for Australia, why they're so silent? Obviously to do with trade. Obviously, the the Australian and the New Zealand governments also train the military and the police of Indonesia, and these are the same individuals, the same personnel from the police and the military that are now in West Papua, terrorizing, killing people, contributing to the genocide of people, of families, of a nation, contributing to, cultural genocide. All of these things that are happening, that is just unjust and just ugly and frustrating. So that's just a brief rundown or a brief history, I just say in my words and from what I've researched of what is happening in West Papua. So I hope you are informed. On the 24th of August, Saturday, which is tomorrow for us here in Papua New Guinea, we will be participating in a protest or in a solidarity march hosted by the governor of the National Capital District. So we'll be marching and in solidarity for West Papua. So if you're in Port Moresby and you're interested, I encourage you to come and take part in this, standing for our brothers, our Melanesian brothers in West Papua. So thank you so much. I'll be back with another video soon.